Hi, good day everyone. I am Didre Maygunson from CED-02-101P and the leader of Group 5. So, allow me to introduce my group member first. They are Irish Australia, Andrea Pabiran, and Luis Jane Ontuka. We're going to discuss about communication aids and strategies using tools of technology. So, good evening everyone. Before we start our topic, let's have some game first. So, do you know Kahoot? Wait, let me share my screen. So, I've sent the link in our Kahoot and you can start now. Arrange nyo lang yung jumbled words and identify yung picture and yung passes through our phone. So, paunahan lang po to. And yung may pinakamataas po na score, siya yung panalo. Okay, start na tayo guys. Who got the correct answer po? Okay, next. So, Camposano got the highest answer. And next, sorry guys, mabilis lang yung time. Pero yung next po, 30 seconds na yun. The question is, book is an example of text, audio, graphics, or animation. Okay lang yung sound. Okay, next question. So, Spotify is an example of text, audio,
video, or graphics. So, Cinderella, example po ng animation, graphics, video, or photograph. Sorry guys, so next na po. So, yung Polaroid po ay example ng photograph, graphics, video, or text. Okay, next na ulit. Hindi ka, ang bagal ng signal, sorry. So, Avenger movie is an example of video, photograph, text, or animation. So, Bane still has the highest answer. Ay, points pala. Sorry. Next question. Ay, sorry. Okay, guys. True or false po yung next. So, the question is, speaking to another person over the telephone or face-to-face is an example of verbal communication. So, true or false? So, our winner po is Camposano. Congrats, Camposano. Thank you guys for participating and sorry po sa iba. Thank you.
Aids of communication. Communication is key to choice, control, and social connection. Communication aids provide a visual way to say something, manage change, understand better, deal with everyday activities. Comprehensive expressive aids like PODD books, alphabet boards, and communication boards come in. Comprehensive aids come with a range of messages, represented by letters, words, photos, and other symbols. Aids of communication pertains to the tools that helps facilitate communication. It is used to express an information, manage an information, and organize daily activities. These are the examples of communication aids. We have an organizer and chart. In the organizer, we are shown on the topic of verb and the other topic that are related to it. In a chart named dressing, we are shown the clothes, type of clothes, and how to put it on. We also have a chart that shows daily activities such as work, snack time, recess, library, computer, and walk. Why should we use communication aids? By using communication aids, they provide a better understanding of letters and words. They provide a limited set of messages to use for a particular purpose. Improve speaking and learning ability. They provide a limited set of messages to use for a particular purpose. They also help convey abstract information such as time. Communication books, boards, and cards can be designed for use in specific situations. By using communication aids, the audience can better understand the letters and words that are being conveyed in information because they see the topic or information. It also improves their speaking and learning ability. Information such as the idea of time can also be explained in a much better manner by using communication aids. You can use a picture of a clock to show the number of hours, minutes, and seconds. Using communication aids is very helpful for both the speaker and the audience. Unaided communication results with the lack of visualization, limited learning ability, lacks impact, lacks of interest from the audience. Learners with auditory disability are not accommodated. The receiver may not understand the words simply by hearing it alone. Learners may find it hard to digest the information if they do not see pictures or a visual image of what they are trying to learn. They simply lack a set of images that they can associate the topic or information that are being conveyed to them. Their learning ability may be limited as they lack a visualization or images that they can associate the information or topic that are being given to them. Unaided communication may hinder the learner from getting a better understanding on the information or topic. Unaided communication may lack impact and may result with a loss of interest from the audience. The probability of the audience actually understanding the information that you are trying to convey decreases as they lack interest from your topic. Learners with auditory disability are not accommodated. This type of learners need specific and special types of communication. The receiver may not understand the words simply by hearing it alone. They may need additional types of communication for them to understand the information.
Communication strategies. When we say communication strategies, what comes first in our minds? From the word itself, communication. Communication simply means exchanging a message between a sender and a receiver. So, for example, is receiving a letter, writing a letter, watching a video, or just talking to your peers. Our daily lives depend heavily on communication, which is possibly the most important skill of all. Why did I say that? Because when we communicate, we understand each other. We know what each other's feelings. But when we say communication strategies, what does it mean? So, plans to accomplish a communication goals are referred to communication strategies. So, there are three types of communication strategies, which is the verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and visual communication. So, the first classification of communication strategies is a verbal communication. There are two types of verbal communication, which is verbal communication or oral communication and written communication. When we say verbal communication, it basically means talking to each other over the telephone, face to face, watching a video, having a video call, attending a webinar, and etc. But when we say written communication, it is when we write a message, or it can be a message through writing. For example, text message, chat, letter, email, what else? So that is an example of written communication. You can know that it is written communication when you write or when you read. It is written communication. So for example is when you write or when you read a Facebook post. So that is a written communication. But when you watch a TikTok advocacy or anything that is in TikTok, that is called verbal or oral communication. So what are we doing right now is called verbal communication. So I am speaking to you through a video and you are watching it. So that is called a verbal communication.
Nonverbal communication is defined as the communication without the use of words. Now, nonverbal communication can play 5 different roles. It can be used as a repetition to reinforce the idea or the message that is being conveyed, contradiction or to make an argumentation towards the topic that is being conveyed, substitution or to replace the topic or information that is being conveyed, complementing or to show correlatedness towards the topic that is being explained, accenting or to give emphasis on the topic that is being explained or conveyed. Now, visual communication is a type of non-verbal communication. It is shown by using visual elements such as animation, GIF, videos, pictures, or infographics. These are some examples of visual communication aids. We have an infographic, charts, GIF, and danger signs. As we can observe in the danger signs, we all know that there is an impending danger in every topic or picture that is being shown without being told. We also have infographics as well as GIF showing different types of media. We also have an organizer showing different relationship between topics. Visual communication shows hierarchy or a dominant subordinate relationship among elements. Now, when you are using organizer, you can see which one is above first. Specifically, when you are in school, you can see who is the head of the department, the vice, the assistants, and members of the faculties. And then a visual communication can also show groupings, a relationship that specifies the elements to be associated together. You can see it in diagrams and other charts on what are the topics that are related to one another. Sequence, a relationship among elements that specifies first, second, or third.
Usage of technology. What comes into your mind when I talk about the usage of technology? Because for me, technology has a big impact in our lives. In education, computers are used by teachers to keep track of grades, average, manage attendance, and obtain information about how well students perform on the test or the activities. In attendance, when student name is called like Pabiran and they will just say present, it can be recorded on the laptop immediately. If the student is present, sides of that example, the exam. After your exam, exchange paper to seatmate. Check the paper of each and everyone immediately. So the teacher take the quiz scores by calling the student name to make it easier for him or her to record. Gives access to an endless supply of up-to-date data and information from a number of sources. For example, you are absent on the day I gave activity on your classmates and the compilation day has come. You ask me, teacher, what activity I missed in your subject? And I can easily track in my laptop because I have the record of my students. Improves the interaction between students and teachers during the teaching and learning process. Nowadays, when you need something, just send a private message to your teacher and it will be answered immediately, as well as when you have a question about the lesson she had discussed, just send a private message, seek for help. And besides of that, when there was a pandemic, we use our technology more because this is where our world revolves around online communication. We use Zoom, Google Classroom, Gmeet, Messenger class, and so on. Access to do everything, even you are outside. You can easily join online meetings or online class even if you are outside, even if you are hanging out with your friends. But let's use technology wisely.
Good afternoon, Sir Dizon. Good afternoon to everyone. I am Irish Estrella. I am from group number 5. I am the one who will going to discuss the traditional visual and audiovisual media. So to start off, we all know that we are all different. Some people are audio learners. They respond to information presented in auditory form, and that is by hearing information, right? And others are visual learners and they respond better to information presented via their visual sense, and that is by seeing. So, from the word traditional, when we say traditional, it is an old way, right? So, these are the aids, the visual audio aids, the media that we used way back then in presenting uh, discussions or reports. So, traditional visual and audiovisual media are devices before the advent of the computer and modern day technology. Some of them do not need electricity. For example, the text-based visual aids. So, going in, moving on and going into my presentation here. Kindar defined audiovisual aids as are any devices which can be used to make learning experience more more realistic, and more dynamic. Moreover, Ton also defined audiovisual aids as those sensory objects or images which initiate or stimulate reinforce learning. Next, according to Joseph J. Weber in his study, our perception about different things is based on 40% visual, 5% audio, 17% on touch, 15% physical experience, and 3% on touch and smell. So as you can see here, 40% is the highest, and the visual got the highest percentage about understanding, about us understanding or our perception based on various things. That is why it also supports the statement of Aristotle that the soul never thinks without a picture. But that doesn't mean that blind people, the soul of the blind people, don't think. Aristotle wants us to understand also here is that visualizing is important. Next. Having visual aids or audiovisual media aids in reporting or in discussion, um, it makes communication interesting. It's motivating for for your audiences. They will participate because it interests them. It avoids boredom because they're, let's be honest, if the reportings or the discussion lacks in visual aids or audiovisual aids, it's boring. And number three, it is more understandable. Um, for example, you are a teacher and you want your students to understand your lesson. So if you have audio visual aids or visual aids in your discussion, then it is more clear to them. They will learn and understand something from your lesson. Next, we have the visual aids, audio aids, and audiovisual aids. So first, we have the visual aids. From the word visual means these are the aids that we can see with our eyes. Okay. Next, we have the audio. This is from the word audio. These are the aids that we can hear only. Number three, we have the audio-visual aids. These are the aids naman that we can see and hear simultaneously. So, to give you a a study on visual, audio, and kinesthetic effects on memory, retention, and recall by Udomon, Chong, Burns, Best, and Vike, 2013. It reveals that recall of information is significantly improved when two or more senses are engaged in learning the information. Information presented in both and visual formats is more likely to be retained than information presented in either way alone, unlike visual aids only or audio aids only. Next, these are the examples of audiovisuals media or aids traditional. Some of them are traditional, but some of them has the touch of modern technology. So, first we have the overhead transparencies. An overhead transparency is an image, usually 8 by 11, if I'm mistaken, on clear acetate or plastic, which has been prepared for use on an overhead projector. So as you can see here at the picture, the overhead projector, the machine here is the overhead projector. It is a device that throws an image on a screen. Next, we have the sound recording for audio media or audio aid. Next, we have the flip charts and whiteboard. First, we have the flip charts. They do not need electricity. You don't need to worry if the bulb will burn out or worry that you forgot the extension cord, unlike the overhead projector earlier. So flip charts are also economical. They do not require you to use any special films or, for example, printers na lang to produce them. So colors, inexpensive box of markers, flip chart marker allows you all the creativity you want. And then we have the whiteboard or also the blackboard or the chalkboard. So the advantage of using this is that mistakes can be erased and corrected right away. Next, we have the videos and handouts. So videos can be easy and inexpensive to produce these days because we are in technology era. All of us has their own camera in their smartphones. So that is why it's easy na lang for today. So video can be used to accompany text or it can stand alone as its own communication. It can be inserted in your video or in your discussion. For example, a clip, 5 to 10 seconds clip for more information, to add information in your discussion or your reporting for your audience. And next we have the handouts. Handout is one of the oldest way or one of the oldest traditional visual aid that we use until now. So best use of handouts is supplementing the content of your talk when presenting or discussing your discussion or topic, something like that. If you are providing statistical data, for example, something like that, if you want to understand, if you want your audience to understand more things, you can present it by giving handouts with the table of statistical data that you have, something like that. So those are the traditional visual and audiovisual that you might use in discussing or the communication aids that you can use. That is all. Next.
Multimedia presentation. A multimedia presentation is a sort of presentation that conveys information using a variety of digital media, including video, interactive slides, audio clips, music, graphics, animation, and more. Multimedia presentation, in other words, is a use more than just is a presentation uses more than just text and images. So these are the characteristics of multimedia presentation. So, visually oriented. So, visually orientation refers to the way which one is stimulated and learns. Visual learners learn by experiencing new material. This could be a video, a skit, or a knowledge presentation. Some people learn best by reading something on paper, while others learn best by hearing someone speak about a subject, and still others learn best by engaging in hands-on activities. So, visually oriented refers to how the learners learn visually. It could be they learn best by watching a TikTok video, like some documentary, watching a TikTok, and many more. But some other learn just by reading on paper or book, articles, what else? But there are also others that they learn best when they speak about the subject or someone is speaking about the subject. So, for example, you're talking to your friends, and you two are talking about the subject, and that's the way you learn, by discussing it with your friends. But also, there are others that learn on hands-on activities, like they can learn using interactive activities, like answering a online quiz, so they can assess what they learn. So there are different modalities in present. So these are the different modalities that you can put on your multimedia presentation. So the first one and the most important one is text. So when we say text, it is basically just letters or words. It is a significant part of many multimedia programs because it serves as the building blocks for words, phrases, and paragraphs. The only source of information is offered by text alone. That's why it is important, because you can't gather information without text. So when you are gathering information for your presentation, you use books, you research, and you should put that informations in your presentation. That's why it is important. So the next one is audio. There are several ways that audio can be used to improve multimedia programs, like giving lectures online, using music to spice up presentations, and using other audio types besides speech as part of a user interface. So, audio, you can use audio in your multimedia presentation. Like you can put some chill audio for your presentation to for your learner or viewer to have interest or to gain the interest of your learners or viewers. Some also learn best by you know, in music, like changing the lyrics of the music into the lesson, or any other audio types like podcasts, like that is the major audio presentation these days. The next one is graphics. Utilizing images and other visuals to convey information. The two main benefits of employing graphics is in a presentation are that they save you time when producing your presentation and make your speech more compelling and successful. Graphics is very important, just like text, because graphics use your you can convey your ideas in visuals using graphics. Just like in our example, you can see here a lot of editing in a pic, so you can convey a message or the lessons using this graphic, so that your presentation is not boring, because a presentation that is just a plain text is I believe a boring presentation. Your learners might be bored in just reading your presentation. So graphics is also important, just like photographs. Photographs is also a way to convey your ideas in visuals. But the difference is photographs is practice of art of making long-lasting images. So graphics can be drawing in just like graphics is when you use Canva to convey the ideas. So that's graphics. So just like this, that is graphics. So photographs is just an image, or it can be a nature or any photographs that you can use in your presentation. The next one is animation. Animation is a technique used to make stationary images appear to be moving. Traditional animation involves hand painting or drawing pictures on transparent celluloid, which are then captured and shown on a film. So we have here an example of graphics. We have 3 examples. So the first one is a girl running. So when you play the animation, the girl would appear to be running. The next one is, if you know him from Moana, Maui from Moana. You see the artist here is just drawing Maui, and what you see in the movie is the animation of Maui. This also the other one also, the elephant is also an animation. You can see that it is a drawing. So video is a series of photographs that are combined to create moving graphics and sound in a visual multimedia. So websites and social media platforms can be significantly and powerfully impacted by video. It is a type of electronic medium used to store, reproduce, broadcast, and display moving pictures. Graphics, moving photographs, and sound in one. It can create a video. So it is also important because some learners learn best by watching a video, just like advocacy in video, TikTok advocacy, documentaries. That is some example of video in multimedia presentation. That is the multimedia presentation, different modalities that you can use in creating your multimedia presentations. I hope you apply some of them, especially the important ones like text, graphics, and audio. Let's move into how we can make effective multimedia presentation. So, there are 8 steps in making effective multimedia presentation. You have to know the purpose of presentation, because if you don't know your own purpose or the purpose of your presentation, you can't make an effective multimedia presentation, or your listeners and viewers can also understand the presentation. The next is know the audience. So it is important to know the audience because you know what you will do, like are these learners more or learn best by watching a video, or by reading, by listening, and many more. So the next is gather information. So when presenting a multimedia presentation, you should have a lot of information that can appear in your multimedia presentation so that your learners can learn more in your presentation. The next is use variety of resources, and do not forget to cite sources. Number 6 is organize the information. So when presenting a multimedia presentation, you should have an organized information, like you don't jump from another topic to another one, so your learners can be confused when you do that. So you should have an organized information. Number 7 is check the technical issues. So when presenting a multimedia presentation, you should check the technical issues. So because sometimes for example, if your laptop is low bat, and you can present the presentation if your laptop is low bat, so you should always check for technical issues. The next is be creative. So it is important to be creative, because the boring presentation is because if your presentation is boring, your learners might feel sleepy while you are presenting. That's all for our topic. I hope you learned something from us, and thank you for watching and listening.